Welcome. In the last session, I completed up to euglenoids under kingdom Protista. So in this session, we will see about slime mounds and then protozoans, and then we'll start with the new kingdom fungi. Okay, so let's begin this session with the slime mounds. Okay, so these slime mounds are saprophytic. So these are saprophytic, which already we know what we mean by this saprophytic. So they release digestive enzymes onto the food substance, and they convert that solid food into liquid food, and they absorb that liquid food through the body surface. Okay, so those are called the saprophytic organisms. So these slime molds are saprophytic, and the body of slime mold grows along the decaying, right, twigs and leaves. So here, okay, so as it grows on the twigs and leaves, okay, its body size, okay, increases. So usually the spores which are released, okay, during reproduction, so they germinate and give rise to a amoeba like cell. So this is a amoeba like cell. So spore gives rise to a amoeba like cell, and these spores are actually haploid, and they germinate and give rise to this amoeba like cell. Okay, so they will be growing along the, okay, decaying twigs and leaves, engulfing whatever they come across, especially the bacteria and all. So they engulf, and then in course of time their cytoplasm increases and the size also increases, right? So those are, okay, unicellular here, right? Of course these amoeba like cells are unicellular. Next, okay, so here when conditions are suitable, okay, they form an aggregation called, okay, plasmodium. So here when another one comes in contact, okay, so these two will merge with each other, and that results in actually formation of a, right, zygote. So this is 2n, and this one develops into a structure called plasmodium. Develops into a structure called plasmodium. So this plasmodium, okay, is developed under, okay, suitable conditions. It is developed under suitable conditions, okay, and then this plasmodium will be growing again. So of course this plasmodium, okay, will be growing, okay, several feet. So it will be growing in, okay, several feet, and during unfavorable conditions, okay, this one starts to produce, okay, fruiting bodies. So you will see here the fruiting bodies being developed. Okay, so these are fruiting bodies. Okay, and this takes place during unfavorable conditions. So during unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium differentiates to form these fruiting bodies. So this is during unfavorable conditions. So during unfavorable conditions, it results in the formation of fruiting bodies. And now in the fruiting bodies, okay, right, the spores are formed, and those spores are formed by the process of meiosis. So in the fruiting bodies, okay, fruiting bodies, okay, so meiosis takes place, and it results in the formation of spores that are haploid. So these okay, fruiting bodies break open and they release the spores, okay, and these spores again will germinate and give rise to amoeba like cell, right? And they again, okay, aggregate to form the plasmodium, and the life cycle continues. Okay, and these spores are extremely resistant, and they can survive for several years under unfavorable conditions. So example for this one is okay Physarum. So example of these slime molds include Physarum, then Fuligo, etc. Are examples. Let's, if you want, you can take one more. I'll mention Stemonitis, etc. Are some examples of these slime molds, right? So this is how the slime molds actually they are different from fungi, so they are not same like a fungi, so they are different. Earlier authors thought they are fungi and included under the kingdom fungi, but later they separated them from the fungi, right? So that's about the slime molds and its life cycle. Then coming to the last group of this protista, so they are protozoans. So they are protozoans. So these protozoans, all are heterotrophic. So all are heterotrophic, right? And they may be free living. So they may be free living, or they may be predators or parasites. Predators or parasites. Okay, and so these protozoans are believed to be the primitive relatives of animals. Actually, so there is a connecting link between protozoans and the first group of animals called poriferans. Okay, so the protozoans have given rise to these poriferans in course of time, and the connecting link is proterospongia. So this proterospongia is a connecting link. Okay, so that actually has evolved into these poriferans. So that proterospongia will have characters of protozoans and also characters of poriferans. So that's why we regard it as a connecting link. So that's what these protozoans are, primitive relatives of animals. And these protozoans are classified into four different categories based on their locomotory structures or the life cycles. So protozoans are classified into amoeboid protozoans, then flagellate protozoans, and then ciliate protozoans, and lastly sporozoans. Okay, so here this is an amoeba like, and in this case they have locomotory structures, that is flagella and cilia, and they have some spore like stage in their life cycle, so hence they are called sporozoans. Now let's look at one by one. The first one, amoeboid protozoans. So these amoeboid protozoans, they live in fresh water, live in fresh marine fresh or marine waters, and also seen in moist soils. They are also seen in moist soils. Then, so they are either free living or parasitic. So they're free living or parasitic, and they capture prey with the help of pseudopodia. Okay, so they have something called pseudopodia. These pseudopodia are meant for, okay, two things. One, it can help in capturing prey, and it also helps in locomotion. Also helps in locomotion. So here, when amoeba comes in contact, so you can see here, when an amoeba comes in contact with a prey, like for example paramecium. So here it feeds on paramecium, say suppose. So while eating on paramecium, okay, what it does when it comes in contact with its prey, it starts extending its pseudopodia. Okay, and then you can see the pseudopodia will be moving all around the paramecium, and finally they merge, and this results in the formation of a food vacuole. Formation of food vacuole, and digestive enzymes from, okay, lysosomes will be poured into this food vacuole, and the digestion of the paramecium takes place inside. And once the digestion is completed, okay, finally the food vacuole with undigested substances will come to the cell surface, where it merges with the cell membrane and breaks open, and then releases undigested waste. Okay, that's okay, how the amoeboid protozoans will capture, digest, and release the undigested food, and the pseudopodia will help in that process. Then, okay, many forms have shells made up of silica. So many forms have shells, and those shells, okay, shells are made up of a substance called silica, right? So examples of these amoeboid protozoans, it includes, okay, amoeba, and then entamoeba. So entamoeba is a parasite. Later we will study in detail about the life cycle of this entamoeba in human health and diseases. So we did not study the chapter human health and diseases. Okay, so later when I discuss human health and diseases, there we will see in detail about the life cycle of this entamoeba. Okay, then coming to flagellate protozoans. So these are flagellated protozoans. They live in, okay, live in fresh and marine waters. So they live in fresh as well as in marine waters, and these are also either free living or parasitic. So free living or parasitic. It means some are free living, some are, okay, parasitic, and they have flagella. So have flagella. So this flagella will help in the locomotion. So the flagella help in, so it helps in locomotion. Okay, right. And there are some parasitic forms. We'll see, like for example, trypanosoma. So an example of this is, okay, so flagellate protozoans. So example is trypanosoma gambiense. So there is a, okay, a right parasite called trypanosoma gambiense. So this one causes, right, a disease called African sleeping sickness, causes African sleeping sickness. Okay, right. And here we need not know about the life cycle of this trypanosoma gambiense, how it all takes place, right? We will later in human health and diseases also we will not discuss about this trypanosoma gambiense. We will discuss about only entamoeba. Okay, and then next under the sporozoans, the malarial parasite also we'll discuss that under human health and diseases. So this is okay about flagellate, right, protozoans. Next, coming to ciliated protozoans, these ciliated protozoans, okay, also have, okay, I'm sorry, they also live in fresh and marine waters. So they live in fresh and marine waters, and they have cilia. So they have cilia, and these cilia will help in locomotion, will help in locomotion, and also in capturing food, also help in capturing food. Okay, right. And the movement of cilia actually helps in drawing the food, food materials into the food materials into. So the cilia help in locomotion and also in capturing food. So here when we see a example of this is Paramecium. So this Paramecium is commonly called slipper animalcule. So it's seen okay in this way, and it's commonly called slipper animalcule. It's called slipper animalcule. Okay, and here all over the body it is covered with the cilia. All over the body. Okay, so you can see here all the cilia here, and it has okay two nucleus. So two nuclei. So it has two nuclei. So this is called macronucleus, and this is the micronucleus. Okay, so the macronucleus takes care of all vegetative functions of the body, whereas the micronucleus will help in the process of right reproduction. And so here they have a gullet. So they have a cell mouth, actually it's called cytostome, and that opens into a structure called gullet. So here you may see, okay, so this is the gullet, and you can see here the formation of food vacuole. Okay, so formation, okay, so formation of food vacuole. Okay, so this is oral group. So it has oral group, and it will also have right contractile vacuoles. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, so this is a contractile vacuole which actually helps in the process of okay osmoregulation, right? So this is contractile vacuole, and this is also another contractile vacuole. Okay, those contractile vacuoles actually help in uh, osmoregulation, that is maintenance of water balance. So I will take this as anterior contractile vacuole, and this is the posterior contractile vacuole. Okay, so the function of contractile vacuoles is osmoregulation. So that is maintenance of water balance. That's about a few features of this ciliated protozoans. So here example of this ciliated protozoan, which I already mentioned, it's Paramecium. Okay, so then lastly coming to sporozoans. So these sporozoans, okay, they have a spore-like stage in the life cycle. So they have a spore-like stage in the life cycle. Okay, so for that reason they are all called, okay, sporozoans. And one example of these sporozoans is plasmodium. So this plasmodium is different from the plasmodium stage that is formed in slime molds, that is plasmodium stage. And here this plasmodium is the name of okay, a parasite. So this plasmodium, it causes malaria. So almost all which are included under sporozoans, they are all parasites and they cause diseases in several different groups of animals. And here this causes malaria in humans. The plasmodium causes malaria in humans. This also the complete life cycle of malaria and all that we will discuss in the second year's human health and diseases. Okay, so with that we finish about the protozoans, okay, under kingdom uh, protista. So the next kingdom we shall see is kingdom fungi. Right, so here this includes eukaryotic, okay, unicellular or multicellular organisms. So it includes eukaryotic, unicellular, multicellular organisms. Also considered, okay, loose tissue under this. Okay, so multicellular, unicellular or loose tissue also can be seen, okay, under this kingdom fungi, right? And this includes all heterotrophic organisms. So all are heterotrophic. So none of them will synthesize their own food materials. They will depend on other organisms, right? And this group, that is kingdom fungi, includes okay, so different uh, okay, types of mushrooms. So it includes mushrooms, and then toadstools. Okay, so it includes toadstools, and then rust, smuts, then bread moulds, etc. So there are a variety of fungi which are included. Okay, of course later we will see the detailed classification of kingdom fungi. There we will see what are all the organisms that are included. Then, so they are cosmopolitan in distribution. So they are cosmopolitan in distribution. So they are present all over the world, and they are also seen, okay, in air, water, and soil, and present in air, water, and soil. Right. The next one, we can see some fungi even growing, okay, on animals and plants and causing diseases to them. Like for example, so Puccinia, okay, is a fungus, okay, that cause disease in wheat plants. So it causes disease, okay, in wheat plant, and that is called wheat rust. So cause disease in wheat called wheat rust. So the wheat rust, okay, is a disease in wheat, is caused by Puccinia, right? Then, okay, so even they are seen growing on animals, even including humans also. We see growing on us, and cause different types of right diseases. Then they prefer to grow in warm and humid places. Okay, so they grow in warm and humid places. So they grow in warm, and means the place should not be too hot, too cool. Okay, it should be warm, and it should be humid in conditions, means moisture should be present. So in those locations, these fungi will be growing. And coming to the body, okay, so the body of fungus is filamentous. So the body of fungus is filamentous. Okay, and these filaments, okay, of course, which will be long, slender, thread like. So these will be long, slender, thread like. Okay, so we'll see something like this. So they are long, thread like, and you will see some of them branched, in some cases unbranched, and okay, so they all interconnect to form a network. Okay, so here those filamentous, which are long, slender, thread like structures, they are called hypae, singular hypa, plural hypae. So all these are hypae, and the hypae are all connected to one another, so they are interconnected. And this results in the formation of a network of hypae, right? It results in the formation of network of hypae. So that network of hypae is called mycelium. Okay, mycelia, plural word, mycelium, okay, singular. So the network of hypae is called mycelium, right? And these filaments which I have told, okay, the long, slender, thread like structures, they may be, okay, septate or aseptate. Okay, so hypae may be septate or aseptate. So if you see, okay, something like this, and here there are transverse partitions. So if it is the case, then you can see this condition, so is called septate. So these are septa, so they are transverse partitions. Okay, and if it is if they are present, then the condition is called septate. And if they are not present, so if they are not present, then the condition is called aseptate. Okay, condition is called aseptate. Now in aseptate condition, it gives an appearance like a multinucleate condition. So because there are no septa, okay, so it looks like a multinucleate. Okay, so it looks like a, because the whole cytoplasm, okay, is one, and in that cytoplasm you will see many nuclei, okay, suspended. So here these are all nuclei. So here you can see each partition has its own nucleus, and okay, looks like a okay different or a chain of cells, but this one looks like a single cell with many nuclei. So the condition is called multinucleate. Okay, and those multinucleate filaments, of course we can call them as xenocytic, so called xenocytic condition. Right. So okay, so with this I will end today's session. So we'll see in the next session few more characters of this kingdom fungi, and then we'll go for classification of kingdom fungi.